Wow, stories.
My wife and I have had a fantastic relationship since we were in our early 20s. We've opened a few businesses together and have a few restaurants in our community. Obviously, this is a throwaway post. I'm not too thrilled about posting this, and I never thought I'd be the one reaching out to random people on Reddit. I've read a lot of these, but never thought I would be the story. The year started off better than normal. We both had a great mindset going into it, and she was all about the new year, new me mentality. She bought a new wardrobe and started buying and wearing lingerie. This was new for us. New jewelry, the works. We work in front of a lot of people, and she wanted to make sure she was confident. I was all for it. I have a beautiful wife, and I could not have cared less that she wanted to look her best. Zero jealousy on that front at all. She has a very flirty personality to begin with, and the ability to have fun and talk to anyone is why we are together. I'm the same way, except more reserved with female relationships. I am always polite and nice. I do not seek attention from women to feel confident or comfortable in my own skin. She does, which I believe is why we are in this situation. A few weeks after probably the best 2 months of our relationship, we had an issue with our marriage that just messed everything up. One morning, she told me she was going to get a drink with a friend randomly as we were walking out the door. This caught me a little off guard because we always give a few days' notice if we have dates with friends or anything important in our lives. We are both extremely busy, and it's just a courtesy we've done for years. I shrugged it off and didn't think anything about it. Later that day, I wanted to surprise her for lunch. She had a meeting at one of our restaurants, and I was going to head that way. I asked what she was up to, and she said she is going to have her meeting at a different restaurant, still ours, and it was now virtual. Okay, cool. That one is closer anyway. I head that way, and she's not there. I asked the staff if she's been here yet, and they said no. Okay, that's weird, so I call her. She gets a little defensive on the phone, like she was annoyed that I was trying to see where she was. I was very confused and told her, "Hey, I just wanted to surprise you for lunch." She said she ended up going back to the original place and was going to do the meeting there. It was too late to meet for lunch at this point. She had the meeting, and I had stuff to do. I let an hour or so go by, and as confused as I was, I hopped on cameras to see if she was there, because my radar is going off big time. Surprised she wasn't. I called the manager and asked if she was there, and if she was there at all today, and he said no. Okay, now I am pissed. I didn't say anything to her, but now I'm curious about this drink date with her friend. About 5:30, I show up to the restaurant, not ours, that they were supposed to meet at. Neither of their vehicles was there. So I then go to the other locations that are ours, and nothing. Stop by the office and then the house. Again, nothing. Now what? I wait until about 7:30 and text, "Are you guys having dinner too? Or are we having dinner before I make something for just myself?" She responded with a very confusing text as if she had no idea what I was talking about. She said she's having dinner with her friend and that she's waiting for her to get done with her work, and they were going to meet at 9. I instantly call her and berate her with questions. Where were you all day? What happened with drinks? Why are you lying to me? My mind is racing. She pauses and doesn't tell me, and I can tell she's drunk as hell. I didn't know what was going on, but I know that I was thinking the worst. She said she went shopping in the afternoon and had her virtual meeting in the car in the parking lot. I'm not buying it because I could not care less if she went shopping. No need to lie about it. After a couple of hours, she finally gets home after multiple phone calls and begging her to tell me the truth. After she gets home, I don't let up. I know when she lies, when she has to pause to tell me the story, like she is plotting the best possible excuse that I will believe. She tells me she never went shopping, but instead, she went to the bars, supposedly by herself. Again, I don't buy it. I don't understand, and I'm shaking knowing that this is not normal behavior. Look, last year we went through 2 miscarriages, and it was tough. But I didn't expect my wife to go to the bars, get drunk, and lie to me about where she was going to be in my future. She lied about even meeting with her friend. It was a ploy to free up her whole afternoon so she could bar hop and do whatever she wanted. We are almost 40. We don't bar hop in the afternoon on a weekday. Again, I normally wouldn't care if she was with a friend and they wanted to check out for the afternoon. Totally cool with that. Go have fun and unwind. Lie to me and go by yourself? Not cool. The next few weeks were rough. I'd lost a lot of respect, and during those first few months of the new year, we had met a friend who was also in the business. Single guy, my wife and I don't have kids. So we always would have drinks after work, hang out at the house, etc. He was around quite a bit, and I noticed him and my wife had a connection that seemed to be business-oriented. After this bar hopping, I couldn't help but think that my wife may be cheating on me with this guy. So I asked her, and she clearly denied it and kind of laughed at it. Okay, stupid me. Your insecurities are showing up, get it together, and I pushed it under the rug. Weeks go by, and our relationship is tense and cold, but we are still intimate. Intimacy didn't dry up. Neither did their relationship. She works at one location, and I typically work at another. When we are done, it's usually 9:30 or so. She would grab a drink with our friend typically at her spot, and then they would get one at the next bar down the street. I was invited but said no most times because, frick, I just want to go home and hang out with my wife. She constantly wants to hang out with this guy, and it's very clear they have more of a connection than I first thought. I finally work up the courage and confront her and him both about it on the same night. Seemed like we squashed it and we all tried to move on. After the incident with the bar, I told my wife she needed to see a therapist. It's been a long time coming as she's had the trauma from our miscarriages, she doesn't have a father, and her mom passed at a young age. She's had her fair share of trauma. I'm the rock she's always needed. But she clearly needed help that I couldn't give her. After I confronted my wife about her relationship with our friend, I told her that emotional cheating is a thing and it's not good. You going to him is a problem. I'm uncomfortable and I'm not thrilled about this relationship you've built with him. She agrees and we decide to take a vacation to clear our mind and reconnect. She had a therapy session, virtual, while on vacation. I found out later that she told her therapist about our friend and that I had told her that her relationship with him had to stop. Her therapist told her about emotional cheating and recommended that we see a couples therapist. The funny part is, my wife didn't tell me that. She just said that we should see a couples therapist to help our relationship. I told her no, since I believed I haven't done anything wrong. I explained that it's important for her to get the help she needs first. A couple of weeks later, I think things are going great, and I apologized to her for even thinking that she would cheat on me. I told her that I would work on my insecurities. Her and I both were drinking and she got drunk and went to bed. She left her phone on the table, and I was finishing my drink. 10 minutes later, she's passed out. I couldn't help myself. I needed closure so I can move on from this. I wanted to know that they were done with their nonsense relationship. I've only gone through her phone once in our 15-year relationship. This was the second time. What I found broke me. I went through her messages and found a conversation with said friend with 35 deleted texts, and the conversation was completely wiped after our conversation I had with her and him that night weeks prior. There were only about a month's worth of messages, and a bunch were deleted. It was clear there were things in that chat that she didn't want me to see. This doesn't include the months of snaps back and forth that I will never see. The conversation was a lot of, I'm bored from my wife, come grab dinner, come get a drink, etc. All while I'm asking her to come home early to hang with me. Now I see why she didn't. I also found a hidden picture folder with lingerie selfies, some topless, and some with Snapchat filters. My heart sank because I've never seen these photos in my life. Next to the dozen or so photos were pictures of our friend. Selfies of him with one saying, if only I wasn't in traffic, and another of him in the sauna. This was at 3 a.m. when I found these photos, and I just completely lost it. I went to my friend's place for a few hours, didn't sleep, came back and she woke up and came down to have coffee. She was clearly hungover, and I laid into her. She got quiet and didn't say anything. I told her how dumb I was for believing her and that I needed to hear the truth. I left and got breakfast at my friend's, told him everything, and I didn't know what to do. Get a lawyer? Leave? I just wanted to crawl into a hole. After I was done, I went back home to pack a bag. She was there. No remorse, no crying, nothing. I'm a mess, but I keep it together. She assures me that the selfies were not sent to our mutual friend and that she doesn't see him in that capacity at all, as in 0%. I want to believe her. She then proceeded to tell me that all of those photos were meant for me. But I never received any of them, and that she was self-conscious to send them and afraid of where they would end up. We never send unclothed photos to each other, especially with our businesses. And the thought of that getting out scares the shoot out of both of us. She said that only the one picture, that was a see-through mesh bra with her whole body, but no face, was sent to a random guy on Reddit. It was a subreddit that's basically guys asking women to take a picture of themselves doing something, like bend over the counter and show your butt, or send me a good morning selfie, etc. If anyone knows if this subreddit exists, please put it in the comments. I can't find it, and she doesn't remember which one. I'm trying to believe her, but I need proof. The guy asked her to do something, and she did, and sent it to him via Snapchat. She said it was a hi, and the moment she did it, she freaked out and deleted everything because the guy asked for her Venmo and wanted to pay for more pictures. She swears that it was one photo. She swears that nothing has happened with our friend. She said the only reason why the 2 selfies were in her phone and hidden was that she wanted to show her friend who he was and that she has some form of emotional connection that needs to stop. But here I am looking for advice. I can't stand to look at her. I have to work with her. I have to try to make this work. Or do I? Has anyone gone through this before? And how did you get through it? I adore and love my wife, but I don't know how to get past this. I still believe the snaps and the selfies were sent to our friend. I don't buy the Reddit nonsense, but who knows? I was always a firm believer that cheating is cheating, and I'm out if it happens. But here I am trying to leave but can't, because as much as I hate her, I can't leave her. Help. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, she is totally manipulating you. She was absolutely involved with that guy. Get a lawyer immediately. You have no children, so it's not worth staying with her. Even if she takes half of everything, you will still be financially stable and able to move on. And although you may not be 20 years old anymore, perhaps you are still young enough to find someone and start a family if that is what you desire. Clearly, she is only interested in random intimacy encounters. Comment 2. You are an intelligent individual who doesn't need the advice of strangers. You have all the necessary information to come to a conclusion. Now, you need to take action, and that means speaking to a lawyer to protect both your business and personal assets. Your wife is also intelligent. I suspect she is doing the same. Good luck. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around after my last post. So, things took a turn for the worse. I thought I had seen it all, but I was wrong. My wife, she did something I never thought she was capable of. She left, and just packed her bags and left without a word. I came home to an empty closet and a note that said she needed time to think. That's it, no explanation, no apology, nothing. I was left questioning everything about our future. I was a wreck, but I had to keep the businesses running. I threw myself into work, trying to ignore the gaping hole in my life. But then, the news dropped. I found out through a mutual friend that my wife wasn't just taking time to think. She was with him, our mutual friend. They were seen cozying up in a bar 2 towns over, the same guy I had confronted her about, the same guy I had trusted as a friend. I felt like a fool. All the lies, the deceit, it was too much. I was angry, hurt, and I wanted to confront them, to make them feel a fraction of the pain I was feeling. But I didn't. Instead, I did something that made me look weak and desperate. I forgave her. I forgave her even though everyone said it was unforgivable. I told her we could work through it, that we could go to couples therapy, anything. I was willing to do whatever it took to save our marriage. But the aftermath was brutal. The staff at our restaurants were whispering, our friends were taking sides, and I was the talk of the town. It was humiliating. I had to face our employees every day, knowing they knew what was happening in my personal life. It was a struggle to keep a brave face. Then, as if things couldn't get any worse, I discovered the extent of the betrayal. I found out that my wife had taken a significant amount of money from our joint account, money that was supposed to be for the business. She had been planning this for a while. It was a calculated move that left me not only emotionally but financially vulnerable. I was at a loss. I didn't know how to handle it. I had always been the one in control, the one who fixed things. But this was beyond repair. I had to make some tough decisions. I had to protect our businesses, our employees, and myself. I sought legal advice, and it was clear that I needed to separate our finances and protect what was left of our assets. The next few days were a blur of meetings with lawyers and accountants, trying to untangle the mess she had left behind. I was running on autopilot, doing what needed to be done. But inside, I was broken. And then, another blow. I found out she was pregnant. It was like a punch to the gut. The timing, the betrayal, it was all too much. I didn't know if the child was mine, and I wasn't sure I wanted to know. It was a harsh reminder of the miscarriages we had suffered together, of the future we had dreamed of. I was lost in a sea of emotions. I wanted to hate her, to cut her out of my life completely. But I couldn't. Despite everything, I still loved her. I was torn between my pride and my heart. Now, I'm just trying to take it one day at a time. I'm focusing on the restaurants, on keeping things afloat. I'm trying to rebuild my life without her, but it's hard. I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm just trying to find some semblance of normalcy in the chaos she left behind.